Mom wrote this letter to me. Betty, do you remember when you were the leader of the band? You'd get all the kids in the neighborhood together. You'd always make sure that Lanny Jensen was there. He was a shy little boy that didn't have many friends. You'd get pans, utensils, anything that would make noise, and march around a block. It was a fun time. This is a tribute I wrote to Lanny. Even though he was too shy to organize our band, I've often thought of him through the years and realized that he was one of God's chosen children that only needed to be here for a short time. Following is part of my growing up years. Lanny's marching band. Lanny was never a boy who would have stood out in a crowd. He was a nice boy around the block who had a winning smile, dark hazel eyes, and blonde hair. Quiet, reserved, and above all, to all people and animals he came in contact with, he was kind and gentle. It's funny when you're growing up how most children's worlds center on themselves, never quite realizing how much they are affected by those who come and go in their lives. Lanny was such a person in my life. I grew up in central Utah, Richfield, population about 4,000 people. You might say we lived on the wrong side of town. It certainly wasn't the rich side. We lived down near the railroad tracks, and I remember many days when we waved happily to various train conductors as we ran and played in the meadows near the tracks. Does anyone remember him? The boy with the special grin? We were all his friends, proud to be in Lanny's marching band. I grew up with Diana and Marie, my two girl cousins, who lived across the road with Grandma Barney after their mother died. We were the only girls in our age range and were outnumbered by boys 3-1. Maybe that's why we congregated together to play various games of hide-and-seek, colored eggs, red light, green light, and there were many evenings we played "No, bears are out tonight. Daddy shot them all last night." David and Ronald and Lanny were usually the bears, and it was funny how we would run and scream when they leaped out at us from hiding places. You'd thought they were real bears. The most fun was when my dad played the part of the bear. At the time, I think he really scared us. His growl was so loud and gruff. We would always run and play hide-and-seek and other games, happy with the world we knew was ours. Yet, my main memory of Lanny was his love for marching. Many were the days when he would get us together and we would get our mother's pots, pans, tin and wooden spoons and march proudly around a block, time after time, knocking on neighbors' doors to come and see our grand parade. Our irregular pounding probably made them wish they had gotten in their ears, yet they always smiled and waved, and we felt we were the best marching band ever. I would walk home from school with Lanny and the gang. Lanny never committed himself to much of the conversation, so you had to ask questions in order to get him to talk. It was a challenge to me to learn about his attitude and spiritual outlook on life. I admired his unselfish way of mowing lawns for anyone he could, 10 or 15 cents a lawn, and then turned around and gave most of the money to his mother. Those were the years during the 1940s when a penny bought a wonderful penny's worth of goodies. 2 suckers, a great big piece of gum, 3 cinnamon bears, and 5 cents for a nice-sized ice cream cone. I felt each penny he helped with at the home was a major contribution from his standpoint. Lanny organized the band. We used Mommy's pots and pans, worn-out jeans and dusty feet, proud to be in Lanny's marching band. As we got older, we all seemed to go our separate ways, except for the usual wave as we passed each other on the street. Lanny remained real good friends with my second cousin, Ronald Nelson, through the years. The year Lanny turned 17, he told Ron he had never kissed or gone out with a girl in his whole life, and he wondered if he ever would, because he was shy. He was also concerned about a dream he had had, where he drowned while swimming. Isn't that a premonition for you? Whew. But he was close to the spirit. Ron promised he would teach him how to swim the next week, so they planned to meet at the Richfield Plunge, our local pool, about 3 o'clock after Ron got off work from cutting hay. Ron was late getting there that day because of overtime and arrived about an hour late. Lanny had been pulled from the pool shortly before Ron's arrival, called home to our loving Heavenly Father the same way his dream had forewarned. A few months ago, I was looking at a group picture taken during a Bible school class one summer. Lanny and the gang we played with were all there. Many memories flitted across my backward thoughts, and the most special memory was of Lanny. Such a sweet, untouched spirit, a young man so great he was called home to our Heavenly Father so much earlier than the rest of us. I felt blessed to know such a delightful young man in my youth. He was only 17 when we heard the siren scream. He had never learned to swim, so the boys made fun of him. He drowned in the local pool, trying to prove he was no fool. There's no more of Lanny's marching band. All the years have rolled away. Lanny was a memory, you might say. Then through the mist they came, angels singing God's sweet refrains, white flowing robes, no dusty feet, singing praises oh so sweet, glad to be in Lanny's marching band.